What are the best replacements for the Weller lineup? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. Now, a lot of you know that my favorite style of bourbon is a wheated bourbon. And well, today on the bar top, we have a really good lineup of wheated bourbons. This is the Weller lineup. Now, I know a lot of people have heard about it. Some people can't get their hands on it. I've been fortunate enough to get my hands on 4 of the core 6 lineup bottles of the Weller. And we have the Weller Special Reserve, the Weller 12-year, the Weller Antique 107, and the Weller Full Proof. I'm gonna give you 2 alternative bottles that I think can compete with each of these bottles and that you can most likely find everywhere and anywhere. So the first bottle we're gonna find alternatives for is the Weller Special Reserve. This is their bottom dollar Weller lineup. It's 90 proof. It's the lowest aged bottle of bourbon, and it should be readily available everywhere in every single state, but it's not. It should be a $35 bottle, but you just can't find it. I especially can't find it here in New Jersey for 35 bucks, but here are a couple of bottles that most of you should be able to find that are on the same tier, and I think might be even a little bit better. Bottle number 1. Bottle number 1 goes to Bardstown Origin Series Wheated Mash Bill. This right here is a 68% corn, 20% wheat, and a 12% malted barley mash bill with a age statement of 6 years. You're getting a little bit more bang for your buck. This right here is a $45 bottle of bourbon that has a higher proof, you know the age statement, and I really do enjoy this a lot more than that Weller Special Reserve, and I know a lot of people also enjoy this a little bit more. I really enjoy the flavor profile of this Bardstown Origin Wheated Mash Bill, and that's why I think it is a great alternative to the Weller Special Reserve. Bottle number 2 for Weller Special Reserve alternatives. Bottle number 2 goes to Maker's Mark 46. Now, this is a French oak staved wheated bourbon. It's bottled at 92.5 proof, and it is a delicious, delicious pour. You can find it most likely for around that $30, $35 mark, sometimes pushing that $40 mark, but it is readily available everywhere. One of my go-to wheated mixer bottles of bourbon that I like to do absolutely anything with, and I think the flavor profile of this Maker's Mark 46 pairs very, very well up against that Weller Special Reserve. All right, so now we're moving into the second bottle of the Weller lineup, and that is the Weller 12-year. Now, this bottle is also bottled at 90 proof, and it has an age statement of 12 years. It's very hard to find bottles with that age statement nowadays, but this bottle should be running you around that $40, $45 range, but it's one of those bottles that is absolutely one of the most difficult bottles in the Weller lineup to find, and if you do, you're probably going to find it for well over $200. So let's get into bottle number 1 that I think is a great replacement for this Weller 12. So the first bottle that I'm going to compare Weller 12 to is another Buffalo Trace product, and it's a 10-year age stated bottle of bourbon, also bottled at 90 proof. Now, I know that it's not a wheated bourbon, and it's also not 12 years old. You guys are probably going to be like, whoa. No, listen, I'm comparing flavor profiles here. And what I get off of the Weller 12-year is a very, very nice strawberry note. I love that fruit note. I think it's very, very enjoyable, and I get a lot of fruit notes out of Eagle Rare, especially citrusy. They're a little bit different than that strawberry note that you get out of the Weller 12-year, but I also get a very, very beautiful caramel note out of the Weller 12-year, and the caramel note out of the Eagle Rare I think pairs up very, very well. Should be easier for you to find the Eagle Rare than it is to find the Weller 12-year, and that's why I'm putting an alternative of Eagle Rare to go up against the Weller 12. Second alternative to Weller 12-year that I'm going to give you is the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. Now, this is a 94 proofer. The Elijah Craig Toasted, it's just their regular Elijah Craig small batch, but then it goes into a toasted barrel. And we do know that the Elijah Craig small batch has a blend of 12-year aged whiskeys in it. I know a lot of you think that I hate this bottle of bourbon. I don't hate this bottle of bourbon. What I don't like about this specific bottle is the hype around it. It's a good bottle for that $60 mark, but pushing that $100 range that some places are selling this for, I just think is astronomical. So now why I think the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel is a good alternative to the Weller 12-year is because from that strawberry note that I get off of the Weller 12, I also get off of this Elijah Craig toasted barrel, but I also get a very, very rich chocolate note off of this. And what that does is it turns it into a chocolate covered strawberry. And man, oh man, is that a fantastic pour that I really, really love. I just wish that this bottle didn't sell for as high as it did and that it was more easily available for a lot more people. But you should be able to find this a little bit more easily than you can that Weller 12. Now, bottle number 3 in the Weller lineup that we're going to compare to is the Weller Antique 107. This is the 107 proof bottle of bourbon, and it's pretty good. It really is. This is my first bottle of Weller that I had ever picked up, and I enjoy it, but I think that there's a couple of bottles that are right on par with it. And bottle number 1 goes to any of the Maker's Mark wood finishing series. Also, the Maker's Mark store picks. Now, these are all barrel-proof bottles of bourbon that are absolutely fantastic. They're right in that 106 to 110 proof, and it's right on line with the proof from the Weller 107. It's a wheated bourbon, and I really, really enjoy them, and I know a lot of you do as well. Some of these do have French oak staves, so they add a little bit more of a complex vanilla in there that I really, really enjoy from those French oak staves. This right here that I have on the bar top is the Maker's Mark BEP, which is a damn good pour. It's their last offering from the wood finishing series, and if you can get your hands on this bottle, I highly recommend it. Should be on shelves still for that $60, $65 mark, and it should be a little bit more easily ready to find than the Weller 107. Bottle number 2 goes to Wilderness Trail Bottled and Bond Wheat and Mash Bill. 100 proof bottle of bourbon that runs you around $55, $60. And I remember making the statement that this bottle was the Weller killer. Is it really? I don't know. Probably not. But I do think that it is a very, very enjoyable pour. Has a little bit of this funky hay baleness going on in there, but I really enjoy it, and that's why I think that this bottle of bourbon right here, the Wilderness Trail Wheated Mash Bill, I think it's a darn good alternative to the Weller 107. And last but not least, we have the Weller Full Proof. Now, this is a 114 proof bottle of bourbon, and it is a darn good pour, but we have to have a couple alternatives to that bottle right there, and bottle number 1 goes to Larceny Barrel Proof. Why wouldn't this be on here, right? I mean, you can find these throughout the year. They're barrel proof bottles of bourbon. They push 126 proof, 6 to 8 years old. The same exact mash bill that Old Fitzgerald is, just barrel freaking proof. Nice punch to your face these bottles have, and they're darn delicious as well. You guys know I love that C922 that came out last year. A123 wasn't quite a hit to me, but I am excited for B523 to see what that bottle has to offer. And, well, yeah, I think the Larceny's for $65, pushing $70 sometimes now, but readily available in most places. I think that this is a fantastic alternative to the Weller Full Proof. And the last bottle that I think is a great alternative to the Weller Full Proof goes to Fiddler, Georgia Heartwood. Now, I can't speak highly enough about this bottle. This really might be in the top 5 bottles on my shelf at the moment. Absolutely enjoy this pour of whiskey. Super, super dark, super, super different, super complex flavor profile compared to the Weller Full Proof at the moment. It is 115 proof, so it's right on line with that Weller Full Proof at 114 proof. But I think the flavor profile of this right here trumps the Weller Full Proof at the moment. That bottle might open up to be absolutely gorgeous, but as soon as you open this bottle, it is a flavor blast in your mouth. Absolutely enjoy the Fiddler Georgia Heartwood. Fantastic wheated recipe. I don't know what exactly they do to get that juice so dark, but hey, they do what they do, and they do a darn good job at it. So there you guys have it. Those are my alternatives to the bottles of Weller that I have on the shelf that I think are readily available, can compete with those bottles, and are delicious pours of bourbon that you just can't go wrong with. Let me know down in the comments what alternatives you have for the Weller lineup. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, this has been Nathan with The Everyday Drinker. Cheers.